4 reasons why Rhea Ripley should not be the next WWE Women's World Champion. The most recent episode of WWE Raw saw a big change in the women's division. Naomi, the Women's World Champion, said she was pregnant and gave up her championship. The Glow will probably be out of action for a time. The company will have to make big changes because the Glow is not there. Michael Cole also said that WWE might do something next week that could lead to a new champion. Several women are competing for the gold, but Io Sky, Stephanie Vaquer, and Rhea Ripley are in the lead. This listicle talks about 3 reasons why the Nightmare should not be the next Women's World Champion. Since WrestleMania 39, the old Judgment Day has been in the running for the world title. There is no doubt that she is one of the top stars in the organization right now. But if Ripley won the Women's World Championship for the 3rd time, the public would see too much of her. Fans might stop supporting Mommy because she won another championship and took away the chance of a growing star. At SummerSlam 2024, Dominic Mysterio turned on Rhea Ripley and joined Liv Morgan, making her a babyface. Fans liked the face turn, and Ripley's popularity shot up. If Ripley goes after the crown and faces challenges along the way, she will become a larger babyface. So she shouldn't win the title that is currently up for grabs. It may be said that it is less important to be named champion after the true champion leaves than to beat a powerful champion. Instead of winning the vacant championship, Mommy should beat the world champion to make another great WWE moment. The Nightmare has been after the gold for months, and if the creative team wants the plot to be interesting, she shouldn't stop anytime soon. For months, WWE has been working on a tale between Sky and Ripley in which Rhea has never been able to beat the genius of the Sky, even though they have fought each other many times. Both women are very close, but when they fight, they go all out, which makes their relationship odd. The Kabuki Warriors are now taking part in this program, which makes it more fun. So, the Sky and Ripley story doesn't need a title, and the two could keep fighting without a championship. But Naomi made a big news on WWE Raw this week. She's going to have a baby. This made her give up the Women's World Championship and reveal that she was taking a break from the Stamford-based promotion. Naomi has been a big part of the women's division's narrative for the past few months, so her absence will have a big effect on proceedings. After Glow left WWE, we will talk about 3 people who could take her position on Monday Night Raw. Natalya and Becky Lynch fought on Raw, and Becky Lynch won to keep the Women's Intercontinental Championship. But Natalya lately showed a cruel side of herself in the AAA marketing as Natty. So, if WWE wants to bring the Natty character into the sports entertainment juggernaut after she lost on the red brand, the veteran might be the next Naomi. Her aggressive attitude may easily make her a wonderful addition to the women's division and even a likely contender for the women's world title. Liv Morgan hasn't been in World Wrestling Entertainment for more than 2 months. Because of the shoulder injury she got, the Judgment Day member is no longer in the ring. According to reports, Liv will be back in early 2026. But after Naomi leaves, the Triple H-led creative team might try to bring Morgan in sooner. WWE might still utilize her in the TV show even if she isn't medically cleared to compete. They might just keep her out of fights. Bianca Belair hasn't wrestled in the ring since WrestleMania 41. Because of an injury, the EST of WWE is taking a break from the World Wrestling Entertainment. Belair said in a recent chat on SHAK Wrestling that she needs this hiatus not just because of her injury, but also for her mental health. The game might bring back the previous women's champion if she got better from her injuries, but this time she would be on Monday Night Raw. Bianca and Naomi have also been friends and enemies in the past, so it seems natural that Belair would step in to take her place on the red brand. Later, when Naomi comes back, she will get back at Belair for taking her place on Raw. But people were already talking about the July 4th, 2025 episode of WWE SmackDown as historic. It was on Independence Day, and the show promised pyrotechnics inside and outside the arena. But no one thought that the night would change the women's division forever. The WWE Women's Tag Team Championship was the main event, as Damage CTRL's Io Sky and Dakota Kai were going to defend their titles against the improbable but dangerous team of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. People had been wondering about the coupling of Bliss and Flair for weeks. Charlotte, the genetically superior queen, was used to sitting on her own throne. Alexa, the unpredictable and clever goddess, generally did better when things were chaotic than when they were calm. Before the contest had started, fans were worried that their egos might get in the way. But when they headed down the ramp, Charlotte in her beautiful robe and Alexa with a smirk on her face and a lot of energy, it was evident they had discovered common ground, winning gold and making a statement. As soon as the bell rung, the arena went crazy. Charlotte opened the bout against Dakota and hit her with chops that were so loud they resonated through the crowd like fireworks. Alexa tagged in swiftly and hit a twisted neckbreaker before making fun of Iwile on the apron. But damage control, always up to something, changed the game. Iwile jumped from the top rope and landed on both Alexa and Charlotte outside the ring, almost terminating the match in the first few minutes. For most of the match, Bliss and Flair were kept apart. Dakota and Iwile worked together perfectly, splitting the ring in two and hounding Alexa. As she crawled towards Charlotte's outstretched hand, the crowd cheered her on. At one point, Iwile put Alexa in a submission hold and told Charlotte to do something. The queen paced angrily on the apron until Bliss finally hit her with a jawbreaker and jumped across the mat for the hot tag. When Charlotte burst in, the arena went crazy. She knocked out both champs with big boots, a fall-away slam, and then put Dakota in the figure 8. Iwile broke the grip with a diving double stomp just as it appeared like it was over. All four women were suddenly lying on the ring floor, and the crowd was on their feet yelling, "This is awesome." The last part felt like a movie. Alexa tagged back in while Charlotte pulled Dakota onto her shoulders. Alexa ascended the top rope to let everyone know she wanted something special. Charlotte twisted Dakota into a natural selection at just the right time, and Bliss followed with a twisted Bliss from the top rope. The referee's hand hit 3, and the audience went wild as fireworks went out in the arena like they do on July 4th. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are now the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Charlotte hoisted one belt aloft after the battle, and Alexa hugged the other firmly, as if she couldn't believe what was happening. The two women had just shaken up the women's division, even though they were very different. Damage Control, on the other hand, was furious at ringside and promised to get back at them. As the show came to an end, the commentators warned everyone that the new alliance between Queen and Goddess may either be unstoppable or fall apart at any moment. But one thing was for sure, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair became champions on Independence Day, and the women's division had just started a new era that was full of surprises. But on the night of June 13, 2025, the WWE Universe could feel the excitement even before the opening bell rung. The Queen of the Ring tournament was at its most important round on SmackDown, and the stakes were bigger than ever. The fatal four-way match between Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Raquel Rodriguez, and Tiffany Stratton was the talk of the town. There was a lot of pressure on only one woman to get closer to the throne. Tiffany Stratton commenced the fight with her usual cockiness, strutting down the ramp and soaking up the attention. The arena went wild. Raquel came next, radiating sheer power and keeping her eyes on the prize. Bayley, a fan favorite and veteran, got a huge cheer, and her confidence showed. But when Alexa Bliss's song played, the crowd went crazy. Bliss, who had just gone back to her dark but charming self, looked more determined than ever. It wasn't simply another match for her. It was a chance to show that she still belonged at the top of WWE's women's division. When the bell rang, things went crazy right away. Raquel used her muscle to take control early on, throwing Tiffany about the ring like a rag doll and even knocking Bayley down with a big clothesline. But Alexa was smart about it. She stood outside and watched her opponents get tired before she struck at just the right time. The fans saw her plan and sang Little Miss Bliss every time she pulled off a sneak strike. When Raquel tried to powerbomb Bayley through the announce table, Tiffany stepped in with a steel chair and broke it across Raquel's back. That was the turning point. Bayley took advantage of the situation to strike Tiffany with a Bayley to belly on the floor, leaving both women in anguish. The crowd went wild, but they knew the match wasn't done yet. Alexa Bliss eventually makes her move inside the ring. She slid in behind Raquel, who was steadily getting better, and hit her with a DDT at just the right time. The crowd roared, knowing it was almost over. But Bayley slid back in and broke up the pinfall at 2.5. The two former enemies stared each other down, and for a moment, the stadium was filled with memories of their past. Bayley hit Alexa, and Alexa hit her back. The two of them hit each other a lot. Bayley was able to attack the rose plant, but Tiffany came back and pushed Bayley onto the steel stairs outside before she could cover Alexa. Tiffany smirked and pulled Alexa to her feet, ready to win with the prettiest moonsault ever. But Alexa had it figured out. She rolled out of the way at the last possible moment, which made Tiffany crash and burn. Tiffany was out cold and Raquel was still in shock, so Alexa saw her chance. She ascended the ropes, and the crowd stood up. With a wicked smile, she jumped into the Twisted Bliss and landed directly on Tiffany. The referee's hand hit the mat. 1, 2, 3. There was a huge cheer in the arena. It was Alexa Bliss who had done it. She had outsmarted, outlasted, and surpassed all three of the division's toughest opponents. Alexa stood in the middle of the ring, arms lifted, her eyes shining with both happiness and sadness. The Queen of the Ring tournament was far from over, but with this win, everyone knew that Alexa Bliss was not only back, but she was also going to be the queen. Backstage, cameras showed Alexa striding down the corridor with confidence, laughing at whispers from other superstars who were watching on the monitor. Her statements were scary but strong. "I don't only want the crown. It was meant for me to wear." The WWE Universe was buzzing with excitement because they knew that the route to the Queen of the Ring finals had just gotten a lot more exciting. But on May 9th, 2025, the crowd in the arena was full with energy. There were already a lot of big matches on SmackDown, but everyone was focused on the heated women's tag team match between Alexa Bliss and Zelina Vega against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Chelsea Green had been talking a lot for weeks, saying she was the most undefeated superstar because, in her words, losses don't count if you don't accept them. She even said that Piper Niven was the strongest and most powerful wrestler on the roster and that they would crush anyone who got in their way. Alexa Bliss and Zelina Vega had had enough. They had both been ignored lately, and here was their time to make a big statement. Zelina Vega utilized her quickness and cunning to get on Chelsea Green's nerves as the bout started. Zelina would sneak away from Chelsea every time she tried to catch her, grinning slyly as she did so. People in the crowd enjoyed it. But everything changed soon when Piper Niven came in. Her might shifted the tempo right away, throwing Vega across the ring like a rag doll. The audience gasped as Piper almost pinned Zelina after a running senton that knocked her out, but Alexa Bliss ran in to stop it. The stress level rose. Chelsea and Piper sought to keep Zelina away from Bliss by isolating her. Chelsea yelled at the referee, bragged to the camera, and even stopped the competition to snap a victory selfie with Piper. But her pride got the best of her. Chelsea walked around and made fun of Vega, and Zelina took advantage of the chance to hit her with a tornado DDT. Both women were on the ground, crawling towards their spouses in a hurry. When Alexa Bliss eventually got the tag, the crowd went crazy. Bliss burst into the ring and knocked Chelsea out with a flurry of fierce attacks. Then, with a dropkick that sent Piper tumbling into the corner, she stunned Piper. Alexa's intensity was off the charts. Her speed and rage were too much for Chelsea to handle. Vega came back in, and the cooperation was great. Vega hit Chelsea with a springboard Hurricane Rana that set her up wonderfully. Alexa mounted the ropes while the crowd sang in unison. Then she jumped with Twisted Bliss and crashed into Chelsea Green. Zelina quickly followed up with a perfect code red, which sealed the win. The referee counted to 3, and the crowd went wild as Bliss and Vega raised their hands high. Outside the ring, Chelsea Green had a fit and blamed Piper for the loss. Piper, on the other hand, stood with her arms crossed and didn't care about Chelsea's excuses. They started to feel tense with each other. Alexa and Zelina, on the other hand, rejoiced together, showing that their unexpected combination could really work. In a short interview backstage, Alexa smiled and added, "We're not just here to be nice, we're here to take over." And after tonight, No one can say no to us, Selena said. The win didn't only make them feel better, it sent a clear message to all the ladies in the SmackDown division. Bliss and Vega were a dangerous new force, and they might soon be after Tag Team Gold. Hello, beautiful viewers. Welcome to my channel. I am Lima. I hope your day is going well. If you appreciate the video, please subscribe to the channel.